Although I'm interested in shamanic practice from traditional times, from all around the world, I understand that we don't live the same way that the Native Americans lived, or the Australian Aboriginals in times before white man arrived in Australia, or tribes in the Amazon before they were disturbed by invaders and colonists. So trying to replicate what they did and how they used shamanic ceremony and symbols and lifestyles just isn't going to work for us. We can't hope to be as intimately bound with the cycles of nature as those people were. They were living amongst it all the time. They were part of nature. And so the cycles of the moon, the stars, the seasons, how plants flowered, how animals moved, they could see and feel and sense that in their everyday lives at all times. And so their ceremonies and their entire lives were intimately interwoven with those movements and cycles. Now, because we can't do that, doesn't mean that we can't take some of the wisdom and the value of those practices and bring them into our lives today. But we have to be able and willing to do it differently. We have to seek to understand what is the intrinsic, most essential elements of the wisdom that flows through those traditions, and see if we can capture that wisdom in our own land and our own tradition and bring it into our day-to-day lives in a way that is meaningful, and really importantly, that it's useful, that it allows us to deepen our own spiritual journey and understanding, that it allows us to undertake practices of healing, that allows us to reconnect with nature in such a way that we will begin to move with it in harmony once again. And without going out there and preaching and telling others what they should do, through the way we live, we can model a way of being that is an example for others to follow, a way that is in harmony. Again, not a self-righteous way, not a preachy way, not one that divides us and says we are right and they are wrong. That is not going to work, and we can see it all around us where it isn't working. It's just causing adversarial conflict and making it into an us and them situation in this world. If we're going to do a ceremony that involves the phases of the moon or the timing of the seasons, then again, some aspects that traditional people may have incorporated, very fine detail in the things that they deem to be essential in the success of those ceremonies, we may not be able to do consistently just because of our lifestyles. And someone from a traditional society may come in and have a look at some of the ceremonies that we're doing in this day and age and say, well, that's not going to have any power, any potency, because these things aren't happening. There isn't an alignment. There isn't an honouring of all these details. My counter to that would be that in this day and age, we need to answer one question. That's, where is our heart in the ceremonies that we do? That's, where is our heart in the ceremonies that we do? What is our intention? How is our soul moving as we are immersed within the ceremony or the practice? And that will bring the authenticity to the practice itself. We will need to change some aspects of how we do it and what we do. And from a traditionalist point of view, it may seem like a watering down or dilution or a loss of essential elements. But for me, the essential element at the center of the ceremony is always our heart. The phase of the moon, the timing of the year, the time of day, if we can align ourselves with those symbolically to support the ceremony, then that's That's good. That's important if we can. But we shouldn't just trash all of that and say we can't do it because we can't align everything. Sometimes, our jobs mean we have to work late on the night of the full moon, and we just can't get there. So should we abandon everything? No. I say we find something that is as close as possible, and we bring all of ourselves to the ceremony. Nature will understand. Nature will understand. It's forgiving, it's accommodating, and it's all based on the relationship that we have with it and with our world. If we keep showing up in an authentic way to a place in nature, to a situation, with a pure heart and clear intention, and we demonstrate our fidelity, then we will be supported in achieving what we want to achieve through our shamanic practice. That's the important difference of working in today's society and lifestyle versus how traditional societies and cultures used to do it.